Hi everybody, welcome to Sports for All. I'm your
Powered by
host Eden, and
Riverside
today I've got
FM.
really exciting guests. So do you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Hiya, I'm Anna Calvert. So I am a member of Youth Parliament and a political activist for so many different charities that I've just completely lost count. But my main focus at the moment is sports and CPR education.
Amazing, so excited to have you, Anna. Can't wait for our chat. So my first question is, do you want to tell us a bit about like your sports background, like how you got involved?
Well, sports has just been in my family. My first football game was at 3 weeks old when my mum was a vice president at York City. So football has been every Saturday thing for my entire life. And then I started playing rugby when I was 10. And that's where I really, really flourished in the sport. I was captain of teams, I started girls' teams, and I've just kind of spiraled into the world of women's rugby. And it's such a growing sport that it's just been the perfect time to really, really get involved in it.
Yeah, definitely. Even here in Northern Ireland, like rugby is like such a big thing. So my next question is a little bit about social action as well. So do you want to tell everybody like a little bit about what you've been involved in social action and like how that's kind of linked to sport as well?
So my first social action started working for a charity called Bite Back, which was all about health and about protecting children's health. So there was always kind of the sports side link with that, and we did quite a lot about advertising and sports sponsorships and the ethics behind that, which was a really really interesting team to be on. And my most recent sports activism is becoming the social media manager of Her Game 2 Rugby, which is very, very exciting. It's a massive movement supporting women and getting more people involved in the sport. And with having a home Women's World Cup this year, it's going to be just an immense, very busy summer. So, doing all that. And then my main activism has always been CPR education. My mum had 3 cardiac arrests at home when I was 16.
Wow.
So since then, I have made sure that every kid possible can know CPR because I did, and it's what saved my mum's life. So a lot of that links to sports quite a lot because, I mean, the most famous Christian Eriksen in the Euros having a cardiac arrest on the pitch. Sports stars are so much more likely to have cardiac arrests, and usually there is a fantastic medical team surrounding that. However, in lots of grassroots clubs, there isn't that massive medical presence. So maybe getting that more and more involved is just something that I really, really enjoy working in.
Amazing, definitely. I think it's so important that people are like aware of like CPR and know how to do it. And like obviously like you've been in a situation where you've saved a life. Like it's so important and the work that you're doing is so important. I'd love to find out more about your social media role now in the rugby club. Do you want to tell me like a bit about what that's been like? Because obviously this summer has been so big for sport.
Well, my social media stuff, I mean, I do so much of it for so many different people. It is like, it's very much my niche. I stick to what I'm good at. But it all came about quite randomly. So the Women's World Cup trophy for rugby was touring around the country and it was going to be in York, which is my hometown. So I was just like, I'm going to have to go have a look. And then I was very, very early. I had my rugby shirt on and I bumped into someone and the trophy was there. It was outside the Minster. It was stunning. And we just got talking. I mentioned about doing social media stuff and she was just like, that's so interesting. I love your energy. Could you maybe film some content for us? And I was just like, yeah, definitely.
Of course.
So yeah, I got a rugby ball off them, which was really
Oh,
cute, and I went around
okay.
the entire city of York just taking photos and videos with it. And then, without any warning, they posted it to the International World Rugby page, and it was hundreds of thousands of likes, so many views. Like my phone was just going insane. It was immense. So after that, I was just like, I really, really need to get more involved in sports social media. And Her Game Too put out a message saying they were looking for ambassadors and more activists. And I was just like, well, I'm just coming off the back of this massive win for me personally that I have to apply. And we talked it out, and I had so many calls, and we just bounced off each other. It's such a fantastic fit. All of the women that work in it are so inspirational. It's a really good vibe to be able to support women's sports in such a like productive and healthy environment.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, just like one little thing like escalated is so like cool. Like
Oh,
how
it's insane. Like, I was just so surprised. Like, it's one of those things that it's been a massive dream of mine to work with international rugby, and for it just to happen so naturally and authentically. I must say there was no drive that went into it. I didn't have to do like a LinkedIn stalk. I
yeah.
wasn't applying for jobs like mad, like I usually am with social media work. It was just very natural, and that's why I think I loved it so much.
Yeah, no, definitely. I love that. Yeah, I will link it as well so that people who haven't already seen it can see
Fab.
it. And all your other amazing content because I know like you've done stuff for Bike Back as well. So yeah, it's really, really cool.
Yeah, my face is just all over the internet at this
Yeah.
point. There's just so many different charities.
Yeah, I love it. So my next question is well, that has probably been quite a big achievement, but what have some like other achievements been in like your sports journey and also your social action journey?
Sporting wise, I think it must be having a captaincy. I think being able to run such an amazing group of girls has been very, very productive for me because I've played rugby for so long now. It's been 9 years. I've been involved with so many different types of people, and rugby really, really is a sport for everyone. It caters to every single need, which I think is really, really good,
Yeah.
and it's very accessible. So I would say probably forming girls teams and being able to work in that grassroots element. I think coming up to the Rugby World Cup, that is when my exciting things will be. I'm at 5 out of the 6 games at York. The only reason I'm missing the sixth is because I'm running a sports day, so
Oh.
it's still sports related.
You
And
can't get
then
away.
when I move into university, fingers crossed, it is the women's World Cup quarterfinals in my uni city. So hopefully, if I get in, I'll be able to go watch.
Yeah. I bet you will. That is so exciting though. Like you can't stay away for too long. Yeah, definitely. So my next question is kind of linking on to what you've already touched on. What skills have you learned from being involved in sport and like how have they helped you like in life, but also like in your social action? Like
It's a massive confidence thing. I mean, I think it does take quite a lot of grit to run at someone and like tackle
yeah.
them to the floor. So I kind of think about that quite a lot when I'm doing speeches, that I just need to be the person to tackle this room. So I think that's really, really developed me in my public speaking and being online. I think being passionate about things really, really fuels through sport. And that is one of the most transferable skills. Passion will get you absolutely anywhere in life because people want to see the people that are talking about all of their exciting things, that really, really care about a project. And I think my passion started with rugby, and it has grown into something that I have used in so many different things, especially women's sports and advocating for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love your energy. I totally agree. If you're passionate about something, just speaking out about it, you'll get people excited, you'll get people engaging. Even if you're like maybe nervous to do it, like just take that step and just do it. Like you won't look
Yeah, honestly,
back.
I'm a big recommender of just go out and try. I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
like there's so many sports for literally every single ability. And I think people are often limited by what they think they can do, but honestly, you will do so much more the second you put yourself out there. So that initial step is going to be absolutely like groundbreaking for people.
Yeah, and definitely, and it's the hardest, but once you've done it, like you can just like be so happy with yourself and be like, okay, I
Absolutely.
actually did it. Like that is such a big thing. So my next question is, what have been some barriers and challenges that you face getting involved, and also like staying involved, or like other challenges that maybe like young people that you know have faced as well?
I mean, in a male dominated industry,
Yeah.
I really, really struggle as a woman. I've always been interested in going into sports, in football. I've always been considered a fake fan because I'm a girl, and God forbid a girl likes football. And like being brought up around it, it's my mum that's taken me to football, to York. Like, so she's always been very, very empowering in that sense. So I'd say being a woman in the industry is difficult, especially rugby. It's seen as a very aggressive, manly sport, and I think it's an art. I think it's so far from that. I think that there's, yes, you've got to have some aggression towards it, but it's not just angry women running at each other. There is a real technicality to it.
Yeah, 100%.
So I would say that's a massive struggle that I've personally faced. And working in social media, you always have your hate comments. That's
Yeah.
another thing. It gets a lot sometimes because but I do a high volume of it, so I get a higher volume of hate comments. So I wouldn't put anyone off doing it because it is like one in a million. But when you're doing millions and millions of posts, those ones really do add up.
Yeah.
So, but especially on the rugby page, there was one or two that were just like, "Oh, well, you're a woman," and I was just like, Well done for
And what?
realising.
Yeah, literally.
It was, yeah, it's a bit difficult to experience that and to know that younger girls that are wanting to get into the sports are experiencing that. But I think that women's rugby is going where women's football already has, which is fantastic. I think the Lionesses this summer have done a fantastic job
Yeah.
advocating for women, and hopefully in a few years' time, the Red Roses will be able to be at that national level where everyone appreciates them rather than just you die-hard fans.
Yeah, literally, and then everybody like will know. Yeah, you're so right. Like the Lionesses like have done so much for football, so yeah, hopefully women's rugby will catch up as well.
Yeah, no, I think we're 1 or 2 years behind, but I
Yeah,
see it coming. There'll be a massive surge in women's in rugby. You've
yeah,
heard it here first.
yeah, exactly. Hold Anna accountable. Um, Amazing, thank you. So my last question is, what advice would you give to a young person who wants to get involved in rugby or also social media content creation, but who maybe doesn't feel like they can or struggles with confidence?
I'd say for getting involved with rugby, it is just turning up.
Yeah,
It's being there. They don't care about your ability. When I started, I was an asthmatic child that couldn't run more than 10 meters without being out of breath. And now I am just, my body is built for rugby. And I
yeah,
think that's a massive thing. There is so much body positivity. Anyone that's struggled with any body image issues, rugby is the best sport for you to be in because you will feel empowered, you will feel strong regardless of it. And whenever I have struggled, I've remembered my thighs are massive because rugby is massive and I need that strength. And it's not a shame thing. So I think that it is probably one of the most empowering things you can do. So getting involved is really, really important, and it is difficult. But once you've done one thing, it makes the second thing a hell of a lot easier.
yeah,
And then with social media, it is just you can't go viral if you don't post.
yeah,
It is the consistency, it is a nightmare. You will see that all of my personal social media accounts, there is absolutely nothing of any credit that's done any well on any social media platform. For other people's accounts, hundreds of thousands of likes and views. On my own, I'm rubbish at it. So, in a professional sense, that's really good. I really admire lots of the 16, 17-year-old influencers that are going out there that are doing it constantly and making careers of it for themselves. It's
yeah,
really impressive. I mean, I haven't been able to do it, so I absolutely hats off to anyone who can. But working in a professional sense, there is always youth advisory boards, there is places that are desperate for help because charities that are run by older people don't have that young sense of social media appreciation. So it's finding that gap in your niche that you enjoy, whether it's sport, whether it's activism. There is so many different sectors that are just desperate to be shared on social media. Just share your passions because someone else out there will be listening. And I just think that's the most important.
yeah, I 100% agree, and I think it comes like with time as well. Like if you don't try and like maybe your first piece of content, like I know my first video, like I look back on it now and I'm like, oh my gosh, like why did I even like the lighting's so bad, like everything's so bad. So like I think just like taking that step and like applying for that
Mm-hmm.
role or like opportunity is like definitely, yeah, you just need to get out there, I guess, if you want to.
Yeah, my first video was about cheese sandwiches, and I find that absolutely insane. It's on the depth of the Bite Back account, but that was the first time I'd ever filmed any social media content, and it is the most awkward, cringy thing I could do looking back. The message was fantastic,
Yeah.
but the me saying it was horrible. And now that I do it on such a professional scale, I get paid for it now. It's doing all of that work professionally. You realize how different and how much you grow within that.
Yeah.
It's a massive journey of growth. Everyone starts from somewhere. You won't always stay there, and I think that's really, really important.
Yeah.
Yes, the first videos will do really poorly. They won't go viral immediately, but when they do, you'll have known that that has been pure graft and it's not just happened overnight.
Exactly, 100%. I think it definitely comes with growth. I love that piece of advice, so thank you.
No,
So that is all my questions. That was amazing. Thank you so much. I'm feeling
thank
really
you.
inspired. Yeah, good luck for results day tomorrow.
Thank you. I will definitely need it. I really appreciate you having me on. It's been
No.
really, really nice. And I love catching up with you anyways. So
Yeah, so much fun. Thank you so much.
No, don't worry.
Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. It would be great if you could give it a follow and if you could give it a rating. If you want to connect with me further, you can find me on LinkedIn at Eden Byrne or on X at Eden71003.